I'm too scared to say half of the things I do when I picture.
Yes, you absolutely can tear up the front instead of down the back during childbirth. Let me show you. Okay, anus, perineum, labia majora, labia minora, introitus or opening of the vagina, and inside there is the vaginal vault. Most people are going to tear in the perineum, whether it be via episiotomy, which should not be routinely done, or through spontaneous lacerations. And since the rectal sphincter is surrounding the anus, that can sometimes involve the external anal sphincter, and there's also an internal anal sphincter, and that's where you get your 3A, B, and 4th degree tears. But there are times where you tear upwards instead of down. Okay, here's another example. Anus, rectal sphincter. This represents all the muscles that are underneath the skin. The perineum, this is going to be the labia minora and majora. The introitus, inside is the vaginal vault, which you could tear all the way inside the vaginal vault and even into the cervix. Here's the urethra, and here's the clitoris. You can also tear, like I said, anywhere on the labia minora and majora. You could tear around the urethra, which is periclitoral. You could tear around the clitoris, which is periclitoral. And I've even seen it tear straight up through the urethra and straight up through the clitoris, splitting the clitoris in half. Yes, I have seen that. And a lot of times these tears that occur upwards occur because as the head's being delivered, the head's not being controlled, and the head pops out instead of being flexed down to prevent the head from popping up and tearing upwards. Control of that fetal head when delivering is key. For the periclitoral, I just reapproximate the skin edges because largely those tears don't bleed a whole lot, believe it or not. But I do make sure the skin is put together and some of the deeper tissue if needed. But you don't want to go too deep because there's some very important nerves back there. When the clitoris is split in half, I'd never put stitches through the clitoris, like I said before, even if it's split in half. I support some very superficial stitches around it to kind of keep those skin edges approximated. But a lot of times, and I was trained this way actually, y'all, at the periclitoral and periurethral tears were not bleeding, I was trained to leave them alone. I do not ever leave them alone because those skin edges have to be put back together or they'll heal wonky and not reapproximate correctly, and that can cause a lot of discomfort, painful intercourse, granuloma formation, all kinds of problems for the patient. So finally, I want to say this. A lot of times when I'm pushing with patients, as the head starts to crown and come out, I tell them to kind of back off a little bit and ease the baby out. Give me 50%, ease the baby out to avoid that expulsive force with the head popping out, which a lot of times causes those tears. A controlled delivery, if possible, is key.